W.B. Travis's Black Servant's first-hand narrative uncovers startling facts about the Alamo. The Alamo remains a symbol of courage, yet its sole survivor labeled it a slaughterhouse, enduring its terrors firsthand. The Mexican bayonet that grazed his side, the stench of American bodies set aflame, the smoke and betrayal from the only soul who staggered away alive. For 187 years, one story lay concealed, not through the passing of time, but through intentional suppression. Why did the victors strive to silence Joe Travis forever? The dead hold no lies, and the exact words General Santa Anna muttered as he vowed to march on Washington. These are not the polished tales from your textbooks. This is the raw, unvarnished chronicle of bloodshed. The conquerors doused the fallen with oil, some laughing as the flames engulfed them. Tonight, the suppressed truth spreads like wildfire through Joe Travis, the black servant bound to Colonel William Barrett Travis, who witnessed it all. What truly happened when the last Texian fell, and Travis's final act was driving his blade into a Mexican general as his life faded? Jim Bowie's body, hacked like a slab of meat for Sunday's feast, and Davy Crockett, who dragged 24 enemies to their doom alongside him. These are the harsh realities. Stay with us until the very last moment. The story you're about to hear will change the way you see the Alamo forever. Before we begin, please make sure to like and subscribe to our channel, Forgotten History Central, to bolster our channel.
We defenders were worn to the bone by endless vigilance and relentless toil. The enemy's blades struck quickly and silently, hitting their marks with ruthless accuracy. I stood within the fortifications, my voice raw as I shouted to my men, "Hold your ground, boys! The fiends are upon us!" A piercing cry shattered the stillness. 3 sentinels posted beyond the walls on that fateful Sunday night, each man laboring late into the darkness, exhausted. The smoke cleared just as Travis stumbled felled. He collapsed against the inner rampart, surrendering to that deadly sleep, for no alarm was raised. Frames sank into slumber mere hours before the assault, guards included, save for the captain. A spark flashed from his musket's barrel. My own shot rang out in reply, but barely had I reached my master's chambers when the uproar broke loose. Colonel William Barrett Travis sprang from his bed, musket gripped tightly, sword gleaming at his side, and commanded me to follow. I obeyed, seizing my firearm and trailing his frantic rush. Travis scrambled atop the ramparts, blood soaking the ground beneath him, struggling to remain upright. "We'll meet them with lead and fury." Twice the enemy raised their ladders, and twice our desperate grips pushed them away, though the last Texian breathed his final breath. Most of us Negroes were spared, along with a few of their own women, including the wife of a surgeon and her sister, Miss Navarro. A shot pierced through the narrow slit, even as the enemy surged over the walls. On their third attempt, the breach in the wall seemed ready to give, fighting on until only a frail man named Warner remained. He stepped out, trembling. It was my master's last act of defiance. Both men fell there, bound together in death's clutch. The few Texians, still resisting, withdrew to whatever shelter remained when General Morris marched by. The Mexican officers swung their blades for a fatal blow, but Travis blocked it with a burst of desperate strength and drove his own steel deep into the general's belly. What followed was pure carnage, raw and brutal. Men fought hand to hand, smashing skulls with clubbed muskets, knives slicing into guts, pistols pressed against ribs, and fired at close range. The killing ceased, and officers walked through the wreckage, calling for any Negroes to step forward. The soldiers let one man live, but when General Santa Anna arrived, he coldly ordered the man's execution. Only one woman died, struck by a stray bullet as she darted between the cannons. The lieutenant's widow and her infant were also spared, though I later learned they were escorted back to their father, Don Angel Navarro, in Bexar. "Here's one," I shouted. 2 soldiers rushed at me.
One fired his musket, the bullet grazing my side. No mercy was given or begged for, only the harsh, growling struggle to survive. When the slaughter ended, General Santa Anna ordered his troops to form a hollow square. I barely saw it all unfold. When my master fell, I slipped into a storage shed, later firing shots after him through the door of his sick room until his final breath. As for Jim Bowie, they say he shot his pistol through the door of his sick room until his last gasp. He strode to the center, waving his arms fiercely, his voice sharp as a blade. The soldiers, Yankee fighters, were arriving to join the battle. "Will they send more?" he barked, pacing like a cornered wolf. When I mumbled that I knew nothing, he grinned and stood taller. A smirking captain boasted they had 8,000 men, but anyone who had walked that ground knew better. The field was all ruts and scrubby oaks, barely able to hold half that number. The questions it raised burned hotter than Santa Anna's fires. Why did Santa Anna hide the truth from the world, concealing how close the Alamo came to holding firm? The story of the Alamo, as told through Joe Travis's eyes, challenges everything we thought we knew. It reveals a side of history marked by courage, betrayal, and truths deliberately hidden from the world. But what else remains buried beneath the ashes? What voices have been silenced, and what stories are still waiting to be uncovered? Now it's your turn. What do you believe was the real legacy of the Alamo? Was it simply a heroic last stand, or something far more complex and haunting? Share your thoughts below, because history isn't just about what's written in books, it's about the stories we dare to tell. Thank you for joining this journey into the untold truth. Stay curious, keep questioning, and never stop seeking the stories that history forgot.